You are looking inside a BC348. Now, you may notice something's missing. Okay? Right here. This hole sitting here. That's for IF number 4. The project was over here in this empty void, which was originally for the dynamotor. The person had put in a selectivity mod. This unit here. Remember I showed you this thing? Okay. Is it focusing? Focus. Good enough. So anyway, I did a video on what the hell was this thing. So it's a selectivity mod. It uses a 175 kilohertz IFs, and it makes the radio more selective. But the magazines, whenever they give you a project, they like to keep you busy the first few paragraphs gutting stuff that you don't need to gut. So they had the person take out the IF can. So IF cans vary on the early radios. Now these IF cans here use tunable slugs, one on top and one on the bottom. This one's like for the BFO, and this one over here is for like the filter. There's a ceramic filter. But up higher here, we've got a frame, but in other words, there's 2 more IFs here. There's 4 total, one's missing. So I went through all the different things, and I realized that the selectivity board that I got, here's the IF case can that came with the selectivity, and it's kind of smugged up from, it's got white rust on it, and it fits right in the space. The lugs work. So I decided to open it up. Very easy to open up. You move out a little tiny clip, and then you can pull this assembly out. And it's just 2 coils. There's no slugs. 2 coils apart from each other, and then there's 2 tuning caps that you can adjust from the top. And we'll call this thing a bobbin, and it uses very, very fine single strand wire. Now, most of the time they use Litz wire, but in this case, this one here is for 175 kilohertz. So that means each one of those coils is 8 millihenries, okay, approximately. So if you would unwind them, you could use these coils and unwind them down so they'll work at 915 kilohertz. Now, this BC348 uses an IF that's actually in the middle of the AM broadcast band. Some people have claimed they got interference. I don't get any on it. But as I'm thinking about, you know, what IF can I use in there? What can I add capacitance to one? Now this one here is a little more fancier. This is from a command radio, and these things are eye candy the way they're made inside. And I have to add capacitance to this one, but this really doesn't want to fit in that space without bodging the radio. I don't like to bodge the radio. See, this will go in the radio the same way as the one that the person took out. Nothing gets bodged, okay? It's just a matter of rewinding these coils, and I'll use different wire. I'll strip this down, and I'll use Litz wire. Okay, I have some. And you know, I really, in between deciding, you know, all day yesterday, what do I want to put in there? Do I want to waste my time rewiring an IF can? You know, because you got to remember, I did a 2-part series on making an IF can, but in there I use chokes, readily available chokes. Now, I could go for that, but this bobbin would have to be cut. I'm afraid that if I change it now, is this in focus? If I change it now, I won't be happy with it. So I'm going to go with just freewheeling. We're going to go freewheeling on it. And I just want to show you, you got to be very careful when you buy eBay, especially if they don't show you inside photos of the radio. Now there's two threaded rods that you spin with your fingers, and the case comes off this radio. So it's very easy for the person to open it up and take pictures. Now in this case, this one, those threaded rods, one of them was froze up. And what I did before I even forced it, I put the radio down. I put some oil on the penetrating oil on the threads in the back of the radio. There's nuts that are on the back case. Put a drop on each one, walked away, come back an hour later, and it came apart. All right. Now, I'll make that excuse for the person. They couldn't get the case off it to take the picture. All right. They might have discovered the mystery board and got more money for this radio. But to me, I want the radio original. Now, I have a habit of buying things 3 times. Now, this is my 3rd BC348. Actually, it's my 4th. One of them had a mouse nest in it, and I threw it out. Okay? But this is like I said, okay. Now I'm catching myself saying, okay. This one guy wrote, you say okay a lot. Everybody has a quirk, and that person doesn't have videos. I wonder what it is. Maybe he's a stutterer. Maybe he's really ugly looking. I don't know. I want to insult him because he insulted me. So anyway, you got to be careful what you buy on eBay. You know, make sure you can see inside the radio. I know if you get the bug to buy a BC348, you know, your first one's going to be a learning experience. My luck was that the guy sent me the one with the mouse in it. And then I took it outside, took a couple knobs off it and threw the rest out. And the guy gave me my money back, but not shipping. He made money on me. So anyway, the next one I was a little bit more looking at the pictures, really looking it over. And then the person sold it to me. And after they sold it to me, they emailed me and told me they're sending me a different one because the dynamotor was dented or some story, and I'm standing there, and then he had a handwritten note in the radio, and I opened the radio up, and it was in good shape. It was in really good shape. That was during the pandemic. The post office broke off the ground lug on the front of the radio, but I was able to repair that. And it's just, eBay is e-dumpster. You don't know what you're going to get. You know, I don't know, you know, if I change that IF can out and get past that, what other problems this radio is going to have. You know, you notice these wires, I've cut these. These wires come through here up into the audio output transformer. A lot of people don't understand that you can take the audio out of the front jack, the headphone jack, and let's just say it's a 1,000 ohms. So you take a transformer and put the high side, like a filament transformer, put the high windings, normally the primary windings for the AC, you put to the connector that goes into the radio, and the side that would light filaments, you put that towards the speaker, and the radio's got plenty of volume. But people, oh, that radio's got crappy volume, it's got this wacky transformer in there. You work with it, okay? It was made to work with headphones. It was from a bomber, okay? World War II. The guy isn't going to have the radio on during a bombing run and expect to hear what the person's saying on the speaker. He's got headphones on. And that's what it was made for. But right away, people have to tear stuff out and modify it. And I'm going to tell you, most of the mods are lipstick on a pig. In other words, they have your gut stuff, and you're staying busy, and then you're putting it in a different transformer in the radio, because nobody will explain to you that you could use a transformer off the headphone jack, okay? And it gets you to put an 8 ohm transformer in, and then the radio's not original. And a lot of them, they always start off with you're gutting something. You know, it's sad, but that's a person trying to make money selling articles, okay? So to make the article big enough and interesting enough, he has you go in there and cut stuff out. Now, all you'd have to do for this fourth IF is just not bring the wire off of it, okay? Because the fourth IF would have too much signal, and that's just the way it went. And you could cut a wire in 2 places and solve some of the other problems. But instead, they have you gut it. And I think the guy was supposed to gut the socket on the tube that's next to it. I don't know. I think this tube up in here is supposed to have been taken out. So he just took the transformer out. Or maybe he took the transformer out of this one to use in another one. But noticing the wires coming through that hole sort of tells me that this radio was used after that IF can was taken out. I think that's it. I just want to show you. And some of these are really nice IF cans for the command radios. All right. They really well made inside. And I could pad this, but it won't fit in there. I'm very particular. I don't want to do any I don't want to drill any holes into this radio that don't belong there. It's just sacrilegious, okay? And a lot of people feel the same way. Another thing, this thing saw duty in World War II, and it's sad the way people just drilled holes. And this guy up in here, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, this pot right here, this has been drilled through, hole drilled through the front, and that real crappy wiring, and that controls the gain of the mystery circuit, which is a selectivity circuit. But I just want to show you, I am working on this, and you'd say, well, what happened with the dual conversion radio? Well, that was an experiment to understand dual conversion. It wasn't to make another radio. I have a room full of radios, and several of them are dual conversion. I myself wanted to build a dual conversion to really understand and to integrate that digital display from eBay, to have a huff and puff oscillator, and have all that all work together. And you say, well, it's a shame you don't put out plans for it. I did all that in the past. It's a big mistake. Okay, the amount of people that are going to build that is minuscule. All right, it's just a waste of my time. I think that's it. All right, that's it. Oh wait, okay.